Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Very much. Enthusiastic your time. Okay. So we don't have it on the board, unfortunately. But if everyone's got their, who doesn't have their, everyone has their things nowadays, right? Okay, so today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, verses 36 and 37. 6, 2, 36, and 37. You can type in, if you need to look online, you can type in SB Database 6.2.36. It should come up. Everyone got it? Chapter 2, verse 36 and 37. Okay. Vimucyatam imam pandam avidya karma karmajam sarva buddha sukrikchanto maitra karuna atmavan muchaye krastam atmanam yushin mayatma mayaya vikridito yayavaham krida mega ivadama. Yeah, I'll just go on to the word for word just for time's sake. Vimucha, having become freed from. So after we do this word for word, then I'll ask if anyone can guess what the translation is. Okay. So just based on the word for word synonyms, we can see if someone can try to make a go at formulating what the verse will say. Okay, so vimucha was having become freed from, tam, that, imam, this, bandham, bondage, avidya, due to the ignorance, kama, due to lusty desire. Karmajam, caused by activities. Sarvabhuta, of all living entities. Suhrit, friend. Shanta, very peaceful. So I hope everyone's getting formulating something. Yeah. Thank you. Maitra, friendly. Karuna, merciful. Atmavan, self-realized. Mochaye, I shall disentangle. Grastam, encaged. Atmanam, my soul. Yosid Maya, in the form of woman. Atmamaya, by the illusory energy of the Lord. Vikridita, played with. Yaya, by which. Eva, certainly. Aham, I. Krida Mriga, a controlled animal. Eva, like. Adama, so fallen. Okay, translation by our friend in the front. Baba Maye.
Having become free from that bondage due to the ignorance of lusty desires caused by the activity, all of the entities, like all of the entities are being freed from these lusty desires and bondage, and become friendly, merciful, self-reliant. We shall become detangled from the encaged soul becomes detangled, by which we were, I'm just throwing this word in there, disillusioned by illusory energy from Maya. Which we were like a controlled animal, so fallen from being controlled by them.
Very nice, very nice. Very nice. Your Sanskrit scholar career has just started today. Okay. Anyone want to give it a go without looking at? We take a step up without looking at their phone. Any Shrutidars here? Can remember everything they hear? Okay. All right. I just said that this helps become more absorbed in what we're doing. Okay. So let's see how I did. Translation. Yeah. Because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification. And thus one engages in many different types of pious and impious action. This is what constitutes material bondage. Now I shall disentangle myself from my material bondage, which has been caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's illusory energy in the form of women. Being a most fallen soul, I am victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog led around by a woman's hand. Now I shall give up all lust desires and free myself from this illusion. I shall become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all living entities and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. Okay, purport. This should be the standard of determination for all Krishna conscious persons. A Krishna conscious person should free himself from the clutches of Maya. He should also be compassionate to all others suffering in those clutches. The activities of the Krishna conscious movement are meant not only for oneself, but for others also. This is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. One who is interested in his own salvation is not as advanced in Krishna consciousness as one who feels compassion for others and who therefore propagates the Krishna consciousness movement. Such an advanced devotee will never fall down, for Krishna will give him special protection. This is the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. Everyone is like a clay toy in the hands of the illusory energy and is acting as she moves him. One should come to Krishna consciousness to release oneself and also to release others. Baba ki jai. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kipasindevcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, thank you all again for coming to today's class. And what better way it feels like kind of like the last morning of a big event, you know, like the final day, the chill out day. So what a nice way to start by reading the Bhagavatam and discussing. So there's so much here. So I thought this first sentence, this first point was very, very profound in the translation. That saying, because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification. And thus one engaged in many different types of pious and impious action. So, yeah, this idea of what one's kind of like conception of what is life. So we all have, like, for example, if one has a certain conception, then that will determine one's action, right? So like yesterday, I used this, I was told to like kind of fix this bathroom, or not fix, just put a sign on it. And I went in there and put on the sign, and then realized, okay, the one on the right has no door, so maybe I'll put the sign on the one on the left that does have a door, and then the one on the right doesn't have a door. So maybe the door coming into the little bathroom area will become the door. So I had the conception that if I close the door and lock it, then I'll then pretty much that I won't be locked in. But what ended up happening is I closed the door, and then when I went to spin the lock, when I went to unlock it to let myself out, the little lock kept spinning. So it was, like detached or something. So I had one conception, and that conception led me to being stuck in the bathroom, just knocking on the window. Luckily, one gentleman was sitting there, and came and used a stick to let me out. So anyways, so these different conceptions, yeah, it all, like we say, things go from the subtle to the gross. So things start in the mind, and then from that, they expand to more gross forms. So if we think about that, it's quite, we can think how, like, yes, it's saying the conception of identifying oneself with the body. So when one has that conception, then that then leads one to engage in all sorts of activities, right? So, or like, for example, if I have a concept that a tree will just, I'm looking out the window and seeing these nice trees. Has it been nice being surrounded by the trees this weekend? Unless maybe someone lives, there's a yogi lives in the forest. But no, yeah. So if I have the conception that one of these trees will fall on me when I go outside, then I probably won't take this route because there's lots of trees there. So these conceptions, they form our every action. So now what happens in life is, yeah, as soon as one pops out of the womb, then actually before one even pops out of the womb, they make a big thing, right? Is it going to be a boy or is it going to be a girl? They pop, they like have these things, they pop out like some certain colored powder. Oh, it's red, or it's blue, it's a boy. It's pink, it's a girl. So even before the baby's even out, already some bodily conceptions are being placed that, yes, you are this. Then the baby comes out and everyone's rushing up to it. Oh, you cute little boy. Oh, you cute little girl, like that. And then, so immediately, like, these bodily conceptions are being, like, kind of implanted in our minds. And then as one is growing up, one is just constantly told, oh yeah, you were this, you were that. I remember my dad would always tell me, you can be whatever you want. And whatever you want to be, you can be when you grow up. But if you want to be a lawyer or doctor, maybe that's a little bit better idea. So this way, yeah, as we grow up, our this bodily conception is being forced on us. So then we develop a conception that, okay, yes, I am this, I am that. And then based on that conception, then all our movements are dictated. Right? Like how many times do we see someone says, like maybe a kid, hopefully most of us get out of this phase at some point. It's like, I don't like lettuce, right? A little kid, I don't like lettuce. And it's like, now this person's whole concept of themselves is, yes, I'm a person and I don't like lettuce. So then whenever someone comes up to them, no, this is a different type of lettuce. Nope, I don't like lettuce. I'm just not a lettuce eater. So that's one example, but I'm sure we can all think of like sometimes someone else has had that, like, no, I'm this, I just only do this. So this conception they kind of hold this very, very strongly. So now we are thinking, so now we applying that to this is that we have this conception that I am this body, and based on this body, I like certain things and I don't like other things. And we can just see how much trouble is caused in the world because of this. Because one is having this concept of the self. Like, I heard this, they say one should love thy neighbor, right? The Bible says that. So what's the modern day? One should love thy neighbor as long as thy neighbor looks like thyself. So that's the modern Kali Yuga add-on. And yeah, in this way, so much division is there. Like even one is, if one lives like on this part of town, then one will hold bad feelings to someone if you live on that part of town. It's like, wait a minute. Like think of if you were flying in a plane, or it's very ridiculous to actually think like that. To how people just make up these divisions, and then based on that, yes, now we are different, right? Like I'm a Muslim and you're a Christian, therefore automatically I hate you. So much trouble, yeah, is caused by this in the world, this division. And of course, there's the Olympics going on. Imagine I started talking about this like at the Olympics or something, because everyone, yes, my country, right? So yeah, the Olympics, it's still going on, right? Paris 2024 Olympics, or it's all done. Okay. So yeah, everyone at this Olympics is thinking, yes, my country will be so great. And you know, they somehow like make this attachment for these, they don't even know these people. Like, okay, here's this girl, she walks up onto the gymnastics little springboard, and automatically I like this girl. Why? Because she's wearing red, white, and blue, you know. Oh, automatically this other person comes from whatever, this other country. No, I don't like them. Don't like them. It's like so it's completely artificial. And as we're seeing here, that because of that, so because of one's desires, then one engages in pious and impious activity. So I just wanted to maybe hear from you, because this is a very, a very interesting, profound point. Because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification, and thus one engages in many pious and impious activities. So one, because of having this concept of the self, then one engages in many desires for sense gratification, and thus engages. So it's interesting, So from this body identification, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification. So it almost sounds like if I go outside now, I'm subject to so many things, right? I'm subjected to a peacock attacking me, which they don't usually, by the way, just so you know, comfort of mind. I'm subjected to what else happens around here? Peacock. So many things. I'm now subjected to rain. Maybe some rain will come like that. You saw a coyote? Yeah. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, so you're subjected to. I've never seen a coyote. They don't attack people anyways? Okay. Okay, good. I was about to see if I could hitch a ride with you guys back to where you live. So as one walks out, then okay, one is subjected to so many things. So it's interesting. And here, this is so profound. If one identifies with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification. Interesting, huh? It's like just by identifying, yes, I'm this body, it like one opens oneself up to, well, maybe I can enjoy in this way. Maybe I can enjoy in that way. I heard this nice thing by one Swami. He said, take your finger, for example. How many ways can you enjoy with this finger? Like maybe you can like scratch it or give it a massage. But so you can't, there's not so many ways you can enjoy with this finger. But how many ways can you give pain to this finger? Oh, that's so many different ways. So yeah, very profound that one opens oneself up. Yes, I want to enjoy in this way. I want to enjoy in that way. One sees different forms of sense gratification, and then one thinks, yes, I want this, I want that. This is what constitutes material bondage. Yeah. So back to the Olympics. So these people at the Olympics, they're thinking, like, imagine, there you are, you made it to the Olympics. Like maybe you're from some small town or small country, and now here you are, you have a chance to bring glory to your country. What an amazing opportunity. And you're thinking, I'm gonna bring glory to my country. Maybe my country's subjected to so much poverty, but now I'm gonna win us a gold. And by that, I will end all the famine in my country because people will start recognizing my country and start trying to help my country. So one is thinking, yes, I'm doing such a important thing. I've been chosen to give glory to my country, and therefore I'm going to train so hard to give glory to my country. But the reality is, okay, one might work their whole life to bring glory to their country, and then one might win a gold medal. Okay, wow, we won the gold medal, and then maybe now your country gets some recognition, and people want to help your country more. But now 10 years later, who knows what will happen? That country that you worked so hard for, now some other political leader might come, take over the country, and then all your hard work, all your training, all your whatever sprints you were doing, training exercise you were doing, it all went to waste because just like that, now some new political leaders there, and he's completely changed your country. Or maybe whatever, a tornado comes to your country like that. So these things are, it's very, these things in the material world are very fickle. But someone might look. But now imagine that one works not for the country, but for somebody's soul. One thinks, okay, instead of now working for my country, I'm going to work for the true benefit of everyone, right? I'm going to work for everyone's well-being. So Vedasar reminds me that he always, when I see him, reminds me when I first joined the Atlanta Temple. Before joining, I was engaged in some political activism, and so first I was staying in downtown in a tent downtown. Then I got an upgrade. Now I could be moved to like trying to protect this house from becoming evicted. So I was in this house, and we were a few, the most, fired up activists were there, the cream of the crop. And so every day I was spending time with these people, and change. We're going to change the world. We're going to take over the government, do away with the 1%, give the power to the 99%. Like this was our drive. And so every day we were there, and as I was living with these people, and I was thinking, after living with them sometime, I was thinking, okay, I think the political leaders are pretty bad, but if these people take over, we'll really be in bad shape. So, um, so yeah, one can give, and then of course I was coming back from a political protest, and someone had the Bhagavad Gita as it is in their car, and I was reading it one day, and someone said, "Oh, there's actually a temple in town." They said, of course, they said, "Yeah, I don't go anymore. I got kind of freaked out by all like the concepts of like monsters and stuff." But anyway, maybe you can go. And then, anyways, that's how it all started. And then, of course, with the first Sunday feast I went to, I was sitting with this, sitting down. These people were there. They invited me to come sit at their table, and they started asking me, "Oh yeah, they were very friendly. Oh yeah, what's your name? Where are you from? What are you doing?" And they were so nice and welcoming. And I was telling them my story, and then I was feeling so good about myself, because then when they asked what I was doing, I got to tell them, yes, I'm working to save others. I'm part of this political protest movement. I'm staying in front of these people's house, and in this way, I'm doing such a good thing for the world. And then one of them, he looked at me. I just met the guy. He looked at me and told me, "You're completely wasting your time." And I was like, who does this guy think he is? Here I am doing great things for the world. And what is he doing? He's here just sitting on this bench at this temple and thinking that, how's that going to change the world? And here I come, the savior. I should be given like some special treatment or something. And he's just telling me I'm completely wasting my time. Is anyone from Atlanta here? You know who told me that? Siki Pichadari Prabhu. Do you know him? Yeah. But he was actually completely right that what are you gonna, you spend so much time in life just trying to help someone, it's a temporary situation, but then they can, that so-called beneficial situation you give them can completely be turned around. So of course, we're not saying, okay, don't help anyone. If you see someone on a road, they just fell off their bike, don't like go off your hand. No, we want to help people, but we want to ultimately give people the best type of help. And so that's why this whole purport is saying like this, that is the sum and substance of the Krishna conscious movement. Everyone is like a play toy in the hands of looser energy. But if one comes to Krishna consciousness, then ultimately all one's problems will be solved. So yeah, it's actually the highest welfare work. And one might be, when one hears about these things, like, one should be free from engaging oneself in the body, engage oneself in the material concept of life. One might be looking in the mirror and thinking, I'm not thinking that I'm free from the bodily concept of life. How far do I have to go until I can actually start realizing these things? Like, I'm not this body. I remember one time I was on Sankirtan doing book distribution. I met these two girls, and they were asking I was telling them what the book was about. And I said, oh yeah, this book actually talks about how you're not this body, you're just a soul passing through. And immediately the girl was like, looked to her friend and said, oh my God, that means like I could be in your body, you could be in my body. And like immediately she got it. I was like, man, I've been like working so hard at this, waking up every morning, chanting, trying to live a sattvic lifestyle. And like immediately she's like understanding this concept. Yeah, we might think like that, you know, how far do I have to go to actually realize this? But amazing that Prabhupada is saying here that just by engaging, just by trying to save others and do this topmost welfare work of giving them Krishna consciousness, then one is actually situated on a transcendental position, and one will more and more actually realize that. So it's amazing that it's like it's like a shortcut. Like I was doing this political protesting before, staying in a tent, and you know, I was staying in a tent in front of these people's house, and you know, thinking I was saving them. Then fast forward a few months later, I'm at Bonnaroo Music Festival with Vedasara, and I'm, you know, also in a tent. But now I'm actually doing something, you know, distributing prasada. Now I'm actually doing something that is actually helping everyone. So it's a great, it's a great benediction by Lord Chaitanya that by engaging in the Sankirtan movement, trying to help others, then one will ultimately be free from this bodily concept of life. And as Krishna says, one is then becomes most dear to Krishna by this action. Okay, so I think I've spoken enough myself. If anyone has any questions or comments, realizations on this matter. So,
with one of the beginning portions of the translation, one is subject to desires for sense gratification, and thus one engages in many different types of pious and impious activities. That so many people are driven into those pious and impious activities simply subconsciously, simply by some scars, mind impressions that they don't even really have control over themselves or what kind of activities that they're getting into. Although they have a choice for a higher choice or a lower choice, they simply kind of go about like a blind animal.
Yeah. So you said, what's your name?
Doug.
Doug, yeah. Oh, okay. I met this, okay.
Oh, there's
Another Doug. Yeah, I met the other Doug. So Doug was saying, yeah, that it seems like based on one's bodily concept, people are kind of forced into these pious and impious activities. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita says that people are situated like as if on a machine. They're thinking that they're this body, and it's as if they're on a machine. So I always think like of a conveyor belt. Someone is just going along on a conveyor belt, and then they're just subjected to this and that. Or as Krishna also said, yeah, just by force. It almost one engages in lusty desires, you know, like as if by force. Yeah, very interesting. And yeah,
in the report, it says, one who is interested in his own salvation is not advanced in Krishna consciousness as one who does compassion for others and who therefore propagates the Krishna conscious movement. Such an advanced devotee will never fall down. For Krishna will give him special protection. Just speak more of it.
So she's asking this part in the purport that one who engages in helping others is better than one who just works for one's own Krishna consciousness. And then Prabhupada even says such a profound thing that by doing that, one will never fall down. Well, yeah, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that one who engages in teaching the science to others, he is most dear to him. And we can see, yeah, that by going out, there is like a type of risk, like one is taking a risk in a sense that one is subjecting oneself to like criticism, like that. And then also, yeah, one is just potentially putting one's Krishna consciousness at risk also. Like, having to mix with materialistic people. Yeah, that's the danger that one takes when one engages in this type of preaching work. But so if one just thinks about one's own spiritual life, okay, that's very nice. Yeah, have your own regulated life and worry about one's own sadhana and protect their sadhana, maybe not do anything that will risk that sadhana. So that's good to do that, yeah, bhajan anandi, but what's ultimately higher is that, okay, now one goes out and spreads it with others. So Prabhupada talks like that he could have been in India, he could have just been, lived in India, he's living in Vrindavan. He could have just lived a comfortable life like that, even living at the Radha Damodar temple. With all these the samadhis of all these great souls, he could have just gone on parikram every day and associated with all the sadhus that came. But no, what did Prabhupada do? He crossed the ocean at age 70 to somewhere where there was no devotees, risked his life for that. So how much more dear to Krishna is one who's actually willing to take that risk. Even we see nowadays so many preachers, they're like, it's, if you've ever flown anywhere, it's pretty intense, right? Like you just take one trip to the other part of the world, it takes you like 4 days to recover, to just start thinking properly. But now these sannyasis, they're going here and there. They're at a place for like 3 days, 2 days, and then now on a plane to another part of the world. And like if you ever had to chant japa on a plane, it's like it's terrible, Like one time I was on a plane, I was a little more fired up, a little more like self-righteous, and then I was chanting, and then the flight attendant came up. Excuse me, sir, we've got some complaints about your prayers. It's like, okay. So that from then on, he was just like, you're just like chanting. So it's tough, it's a tough life. So Krishna says in relation to what one gives me, I will give to them. So one by doing preaching work, it's very tough. Going out, book distributors going out every day. It's tough. Get out. Okay, let's see what happens today. Let's see how many people are gonna, tell me to get a job, tell me to get away from. Like I remember I used to distribute at Little 5 Points. Man, this tattoo owner hated me so much. Actually, pretty much everyone did. Pretty much all the regulars there pretty much hated me. I had a few friends, but like one guy was selling CDs, he really hated me because was taking his business. Tattoo guy came out, he said, okay, from right here in front of my store, from here to the other end of my store, you can't come here. You can't walk in front of this area. And it was even like, bro, that's not even like legal, you can't even tell. But yeah, and then he'd come, I'd be distributing books. He'd just come out and look at me, with his big dog, smoking a cigarette. Like, so yeah, when one engages in preaching activity, it's very you're putting your neck out on the line. And because of that, one is dear to Krishna. But like, if one is intelligent, like there's a nice verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita that says, okay, if one is interested in philosophy, one is interested in kind of figuring things out on the mental platform, like how things are, one has a very analytical mind, then use that analytical mind to calculate how much mercy is given by Lord Chaitanya. Because that mercy is indescribable. And the mercy that one gets from Lord Chaitanya to spread this movement. So, okay, follow-up question.
Like in this chapter, Ajamil, he was like this. It starts out in this right ground, he falls down. So, and the purport is mentioned, it said like an advance, like it's advance to the share. And Prabhupada, he says, for such an advanced devotion, you'll never fall down. So
that's the part you're wondering about.
Yes, like where else in the Shastras is it speaking on not falling down? There's so many times, at least in Bhagavatam and history, we can see people that we get so advanced. So like there's this thing about being elevated or just getting higher, and then you hear you get so high, but you fall down. So what I'm wanting to hear more about is like you're comparing with.
Looks like I'm saved by that. Looks like I'm saved by the conch shell. Ki Jai. That's everyone's homework. Research that. How one will never fall down by engaging in preaching activity. Yeah, wonderful question. Ganta Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Damodar Devi Shakadevi Nitya Gaura Sundara Ki Jai.